Okay. Oh boy. There we go. I have been working so hard to get in here. I've been trying to get in here. Hey, Latika. Hi, my baby. For about 20 or 30 minutes. It wouldn't let me go live. I've actually thanked the people who I've been hitting them in the inbox saying, can you show me how to go live? Because I don't know how to go live. But what it is I wasn't given the option to go live. And then, hi Gordon, hi Tanya. What I started realizing is one of my good friends helped me out in the, hey Catherine, how's my beautiful baby doing? Tell her hello, give her a big hug and a kiss for me. I had to, one of my friends was in the, oh, thank you, happy up through there. I've been busy. I have a YouTube page. I'm not going to do a lot of YouTube videos because they kept erasing my pages and just letting people flag me for anything and take my pages down. So I'm not going to put a lot of time and effort. Hi, Queenie. I hope I said that right. Queenie Key. And one of my friends in the messenger said, Alexyss, do you have the Facebook app? Because I was saying it's not giving me the option to do a live. Hi, George. And then I said, well, how to do the Facebook app? So he's been walking me. Hi, Christina. Hi, beautiful girl. Walking me through trying to get on camera for about 30 minutes now. And I'm like, I've never done this. I had to update the messenger, update the, I'll go to Patreon. I know. I'm going to check into that next because people have been telling me to go to Patreon. And then I'm going to put this reading. This reading is about the incredible, handsome, beautiful, intelligent, legendary icon, Mr. Sam Cooke. This is something I said, let me keep fighting to get the video on here because this is just a video I felt that I wanted to, I needed to get up tonight because I've been working on this video. Yeah, Sharon, thank you. You were right. I had to update the messenger. I had to update the Facebook app because when I kept going to do a live, the button that says go live, hey Charlie, I didn't have the option. Go live was not the option. And I wondered why it was not there because I don't have any trouble on Facebook. And I was wondering why, hello beautiful Emmanuel, why I was getting the problem and not having option to go live. And then I asked a couple of my friends on the messenger and they were like, okay, try this, try that. So that's why I'm like, oh my God, I did not get dressed this late at night to have to go and cut the phone off and not do the show at all. This is very, very important to me. I need to get this up tonight. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I have struggled with, no, I'm not Sam Cooke's daughter. I am Jackie Wilson's daughter. I am the legendary Mr. Excitement Jackie Wilson's daughter. You can see that on my page. So if you look at my cover page, you look at my profile, you look at all the pictures, Jackie Wilson is all over my page. No, Sam Cooke was a very close friend of my father, Jackie Wilson. People tell me they were like brothers. They loved each other and they traveled together, performed together. You can, if you type in Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson on YouTube, you'll see them doing the cha-cha-cha where Sam invited my father, Jackie Wilson, to come on stage with him and they were dancing. Oh, thank you. Oh, you have Sam and Jackie. When you said we have plenty of his records. Unfortunately, I didn't grow up. I never heard, there were no Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke records in my grandmother's house. Well, Thank you, Josh. I don't consider myself a legend. I consider my father, Jackie Wilson, and Sam Cooke legendary. I'm his. Thank you. Yeah, I've become an icon with the vagina power thing. Now I'm working on my father's music. 2 weeks ago, well, see, what I don't do, I don't get a lot of people doing that. When I say, "Oh, is that really your father?" Is that? You don't seem like you're trying to be confrontational or funny. So, like I said, that's what I said. But people, yeah, some people, I think they try to, I don't know what they tried to do. So is that really a fight? And I'm like, wow, you sound like an asshole. I would never come to someone and say, well, you said Jack is your father, or you said Bob is your father. Is Bob really your father? I would never do that. So when people come to me like trying to be sarcastic, because I don't know who your mama was with. I don't know what they did. I wasn't there. So how do I look stepping to somebody and saying, is Bob really your dad? Like, I know you say that. And really? Thank you. A lot of YouTubers don't like me, but a lot of them love me. Yes, I miss public access. I miss being on television. All I got to do is look at your face. Thank you, Christina. I don't have a lot of people saying that. I don't know who these people are. It's only like one or two here and there, like they're trying to create a confrontation with me or trying to make me angry. So you know what I do? Nothing. I don't respond because I have too many more important things to do. Let me tell you how now I don't know if you all have seen it, because about 2 weeks ago, December 15th, I did another show for my father at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and I did the offering, the spiritual offering to them to open up the store to my show. Yeah, Christina, trolls. My father, his mother, Eliza, and my brother, Thor Wilson, that just passed, unfortunately, in October. And I created it's just a sample. Thank you, Gordon. Well, I'm gonna bring the vagina power back. I probably will do a live in a couple of days on YouTube, and not like the person told me the other day. I learned about the Patreon. You know, Stephanie, I really don't want to keep talking about R. Kelly because I've talked about him so much. I've done so many readings on him, and I'm so grateful because the things I said about him came true. And I said he was having more legal issues. I said more was going to come out, and I see they've come out with more people. They've done the documentary. I want to thank, hey Demetrius, when you feel like an auntie, yo. Thank you very much. Yeah, and we need to do more stuff on wicked mothers because I am still recovering from a lot of that, and I think I probably will never recover in this lifetime. It takes so much because we were starting to be damaged by those types of mothers in our wombs, and then when we got out, no, Gordon, that's not going to happen. That's never ever going to happen. Okay? Alrighty. I have been fortunate because I thought I was crazy. And I was wondering, since I don't know R. Kelly, never met R. Kelly, the readings that I did, I thought people would think I was losing my mind, especially when I was talking about the baby in the basement. And, but see, the thing is, Christina, I didn't watch it yet because the stuff a lot of us already know and think I said. Oh, hello, Mr. Oshun. It's such a pleasure to have you here. When I was saying the baby in the basement, the rooms in the basement, behind the wall, and secret doors and compartments, I didn't know what the world I was talking about, and I thought you all would think, wow, she's really done lost it now. And I have had the pleasure of speaking to people that actually know them, Ladessa. So I don't like to just say something because I know there are a lot of readers. I don't like to be called a psychic. I'm an intuitive. I'm also a medical intuitive. So, Christina, all of what I said about them basements and them doors and them locked doors and them abortions, and I had the pleasure of speaking to people. I don't know how they saw the readings, but somebody let them see the readings, and they contacted me and said, you were right. And I said, I thought you all were going to think I was crazy. I was so nervous when I said this stuff, and they said no. And some people, I'm not going to say who, because they would like to remain anonymous. Blessings to you and your family, beautiful Mr. Oshun. Thank you. Same to you. They confirmed it, and I was holding the phone. I said, what? So there really is the rooms? And they said, yes. Hey, Sharon. He's back in Chicago now. And yes, Gordon, I'm single. And they said that it is what I said. So I'm satisfied with that at this point. But you know what? I'm kind of tired of talking about R. Kelly. And I hear a lot of people say they tired of talking about R. Kelly because people keep talking about him and there's still no formal charges, no arrest. He hasn't been charged with anything. He's still walking around. Women still want him. Yes, they are. But still, they consider these women either the ones that are too young, get paid off, or the mothers prostitute them or sell them to them, or the family gets paid and it's hushed up, or the grown women. They're grown women. So if they want to have sex with him, they want to have orgies, that was verified to me, then what the police gonna do? What, lock them up because of who they throw their pussy to? They grown. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep talking about it. I don't really. What I want to do. Hi, Julia. Hi, beautiful. I haven't seen you in a while. Yes, he do. Yes, Christina. I found that was true too. What I said. Yes. But you know what I also said to someone we were talking about him, and I might, if you all just keep asking me, I will do a brief backtrack on him, but I don't want to do a lot of stuff on him because I've covered a lot of stuff. Yes, he has some protection, and he's very spiritual. Yes, and he hypnotizes the girls. And he's very crafty, very intelligent, very cunning. He's a predator, and he's also in a lot of pain. For when he was abused, him and his brother came out and said that they were having sex with their own sister. That she was molesting and abusing them when their mother went to work. He's still very damaged by that. But I was talking to someone, I said, I don't know what it is exactly, but when we fell in love with the 12 play and my mind telling me no, but my body telling me yes, he will never go back to that level of stardom again. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I do believe it has something to do with R. Kelly's body. Something is going on with R. Kelly's body and health. I don't see like all of a sudden the money will just go, but I do see that gradually, like I had said before, and I see that already happening. I saw the legal issues. I saw the people in the camp fighting. I saw them turning on each other. I saw them leaving. And that is exactly what that's happening right now. And it has happened. Well, he is guilty. I think he is guilty. To me, I don't care how talented you are, how good looking you are, how well you can sing and beg somebody out their ass. I'm not going to support you, yeah, Stephanie, if you have bad character and you have no integrity. And the way he treated those girls. Oh, hi, Scotty Scott. How beautiful. Beautiful man. It's good to see you. Then I will not support a talented man that takes advantage of and abuses young girls. I understand he's tempted and he's a red-blooded man and attracted to girls, but this man has a problem and he's gotten away with it. Well, no, what I'm saying to you, whoever, I don't care how talented anybody else, it's not just him, period. When I see people that are very talented and beautiful to look at, but I see they have really bad character flaws and they like to take advantage of children, and they don't have it, to me, you have no integrity, I do not want to be associated with you. Yeah, there are a lot of people that don't care about that, and they don't care about the young girls, little girls, women being peed on and abused, and even grown women who are out of their minds. I do. So I blame the grown women that are grown, but I don't blame the females that were little girls, babies, and that were prostituted. Okay, now, what I really want to talk about, because I'm trying not to let this drag out too long, but I see you all are asking me things. Well, yes, T, you're correct. It's something going to happen to his body, and he's not going to be able to perform. I don't know, do you see my friend? Do you see my mother back there behind me? I don't know if you can see her. Santisa Mueta. I think that's what you call her. Isn't she beautiful? She's absolutely gorgeous. You see that? Hi, Denise. I wanted to have her here because she came up doing Sam Cooke's reading. Now, I had, see if I can put it up so you can put where you can see her. I don't want to drop her. Okay. I got a request. Really, girl, I was wondering, I'm like, my Facebook messing up and all that. This ain't never messed up before, so let me do this reading, because I don't know if somebody's trying to block me. Oh, yes, I love her. And she came up during Sam Cooke's reading. I'm feeling them in here now. I did a sample of a animated series, and the character, we're in Egypt, and it's me. It's my face. I don't know if you saw that. I got to probably get somebody to repost it and then put it's on my page. And when I was making that, and it's going to be a series where you'll be able to see, we're going to do more of it. Something weird happened. Yeah, but no, she's not just a female. It's not a male like you think. And she's not just for bad. No, she's also protects her children. No, so we have to do another video on that. And when I was doing the animated series, if you see it, it's like the sarcophagus are there, and I'm resurrecting the God in the to come raise up out of the sarcophagus, and also there's a female beside him, and one's my father, one's is his mother, because she wanted to come back with him. So they gave me the actual idea for the animated series. They gave me the characters, and the Egyptian gods are in here. It's quite beautiful. And it's not finished yet, unfortunately, because I was excited to show it to you in December. But hopefully it'll be ready soon, and I'm going to share it with you. And you'll be able to go in there with me. You'll be able to see us. Like, it's VR. It's virtual reality. And it goes along with my father's show. So thank you, Charlie. So when I was writing down what my father was saying for the script, because what you see when you look at that animated series, a sample, is what my father gave me. It's not my idea. It's my father's idea. And then my father's mother came in. She gave me her script. He gave me his script. And let me tell you something. I was writing a scene. It was like a big room in the Egyptian temple. And in the temple, my father was in there. Jackie Wilson was walking around in the temple, and he came out of the temple. And there was like a lot of artifacts and a sarcophagus, and it was some desk in there. It's like it was all piled up. And when he walked out, I'm literally seeing this in the spirit, but I'm awake. I heard something rattling, like it was a desk and some other Egyptian artifacts and gold statues. I didn't think anything or anybody was in the room. And I'm like, what is that rattling? I thought it was maybe an animal or something. And I kept waiting, and then what came from behind the back room was Sam Cooke. And I said, Sam, what's Sam doing in the virtual reality animation? And I said, well, I wondered. So I saw him and my dad together. This was like a month ago. And I said, so Sam and my father see each other, and they talk, and they still do business. They still work on things in the higher realm. People do that. It's just when I say, now when people says, oh, somebody died, and I said, no, their body died. The physical, that's just one of the bodies that they need as a vehicle here. The physical body died, but they did not die. They just can't function in this realm anymore with the body, and people that don't have the ability can't see them or hear them or know that they're still here, especially if they left and things were not done correctly, so they talk. So I knew that was an omen that I would see Sam again or that I would hear Sam Cooke again, but I wasn't really looking for it because I didn't want to look, because I was afraid of what I might find. And then I said, well, I don't want to just jump and do that reading unless I am invited to do that reading by my father and by Sam Cooke, because I do not read people in a physical living body, or a body that has physically died and they are no longer inside of the body. They're still the same people to me. They talk, they look the same, they'll let you see them, they have feelings, they have regrets, they have pain, they have sorrow, sadness, and they have joy, and they remember people, places, and things that were significant to them when the physical body, yes, they are in the alternate free. Thank you. Sam Cooke is a good omen. Yes. And I'm going to tell you how it happened. It was before I did the show to my father on December 15th. A young lady, you'd be surprised, a young woman emails me, and she said, I don't know you. I've been watching your readings on YouTube, and you are amazing, but I will admit, I do be scared when I see you be talking, them demons come in on the video and Lucifer walk in. I be scared, but I love. I said, okay, but I tell you what, call me. Because if you're uncomfortable, I wanted to talk to her to let her know, I'm not hurt. I'm okay. They're not bad like people portray them. All of them are not bad like people portray them. I said, you see, I'm still alive. You might get scared. I might be jump or be scared, or my mind's blowed because I don't know they're here or that they're going to come in here. I said, yeah, but you see, I'm still alive. They don't hurt me or beat me up or anything. And she laughed and she said, you know what? I'm in love with Sam Cooke. And I said, girl, you in love with Sam Cooke? She said, yes, he comes to me. And she said, he's been in the bed with me. He'll lay down with me. Thank you, Sharon. I'm still working to be better. I want to be better. I want to be one of the best. And I said, really, girl? She said, yes, he talks to me. And she said he hadn't, when we talked today, because what I've been doing, I said, I got time. I've done my father's tributes. And I've done other readings. I said, but I got some I still got to do. But I tell you what, I'm going to put everybody on hold. I'm going to get to you because you gave me the donation at the very beginning of November. And I had jury duty. I had anything and everything that could come up that came up. And she said, that's fine. I'll wait. And I said, well, what did he say? She said, well, I know all of his girlfriends. I know the wives. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I don't. And she was like, and I saw him in a dream. And I asked him, what happened to you, Sam? And she said, he was laying beside me on the bed. And she was like, he's so beautiful and so sexy. I'm like, girl, why is you lusting over that man? I'll be talking about that man under that man's clothes, girl. Tell me what he say. And she was like, girl, he's just so fine. He's just so fine. And why he had to die, why he can't be here, because I sure want to get. I said, okay, let's please get to the point. What the man say? And he said, somebody drugged him. I said, yes, that's what a lot of people say. And when they're talking about the conspiracy theories and they go through the story and what was said, what the black lady Bertha said, what Eliza, the Chinese girl, said, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up in the timelines. And I said, well, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know. And I don't want to know until after I do the reading or I get into it. And I said, Lord have mercy, I don't want to get into this because I said, well, can you ask somebody else to do this? She said, no. I said, why not? Oh, I love Tupac. And he loved my father. He loved Sam. He shouted them out in that rap song that I love that I took a sample out of. And he came to me and we talked, Tupac. I have so much respect for Tupac. He told me he didn't want to come back. He said he did what he had to do. And he's traveling and he's studying. He's a brilliant young man. He had these new glasses on. And they looked like very intellectual glasses. He looked just like a scholar. But anyway, let me stay on this. And I said, can you ask someone else? because I don't think I can handle this. And she said no. And I said, why? There are psychics all over the place, and there are good psychics all over YouTube. I watch them. I enjoy them. I can point some of them out. And she said, no. I said, well, I can give you the donation back. You go to them. Yes, Tupac is a scholar, girl. He been studying. He been going to different schools. He's in different dimensions. He's traveled. He said he went to places he wanted to be, spent time, and he come visit people he loved, and they don't always know he's there. He said, other than that, I don't want to come back. I come back when I want to check on someone I love and make sure they all right. I said, all right then, Pop. I really like your song. He said, I know the one you're talking about. I said, is it okay if I play it and play with it? He said, yes. I said, I want to use it for my father. And you shout out my father. He was just very, very deep, and he was very, very calm. Those eyes, he looked dead at me. He didn't blink much. He said, at least at this time, he said, this was about 6 months ago. He said, I don't want to come back. I don't want to reincarnate. I don't wish I could go back and undo what happened to me. He was kind of, the way I felt was like he was saying, some things, the way they happen, they in divine order. And even though a baby could be 5 days old, somebody could be 25 years old, and you think, wow, more of their life is ahead of them than behind them. Some of them was still, that's a part of their karma. That's a part of their past life where they've done what they needed to do, even though we think it's fucked up because they was only 5 days old or 5 months or 25. And he's saying no. The way things happen is the way it was supposed to happen, and I'm going to leave it at that, and I don't want to come back. But he wasn't saying it like I'm saying it. He was just really calm and focused and non-emotional about it, and just fine as fuck. Real clean, skin beautiful, eyes piercing. He was very, very articulate and very calm about, and I didn't want to ask anymore. Well, your answer is fine with me, because you've seen things and been places I have not yet, or that I don't remember yet in this body and this lifetime. Hi Geraldine, Aunt Sissy. Hi beautiful. Okay. When I offered to give her the donation back, and I offered, I'm serious. I said, I'll help you find another psychic to look at Sam. Because I really don't want to. And she said, no. I didn't do this. I said, well, who did it? She said, they did it. And I said, who is they? She said, Sam. I said, are you sure? Because I will not read a spirit that does not want a reading from me. I will not offend them and upset them. I said, so I tell you what we're going to do. Yes, Catherine, because his mama has been here. Sam, not if you're talking about Tupac, I hadn't delved into that deeper once he said what he said. But I could. Maybe later I'll see what he says. But right now when I was with Sam's mother, and let me tell you, the relatives, at first, none of them came in. I finally sat down and forced myself to do it Sunday night. I sat on the floor, and nobody came at first but Sam. Sam didn't even say anything. He had a lot of anxiety. And then I asked her, I said, did he say this to you? She said, I'm not sure who said it. But she said, I think Sam asked me to come ask you to do this because Sam is very upset about what has been said about him, and he wants to set the record straight. And he felt like you could do it. And I'm saying, wow, I'm very honored. But there are a lot of people that can do this. And she said, no, they said you. And it was more than him. I said, who? She said, I don't know. I can't see what you see. I said, well, you're going to. So I said, we both have to go down together. But I want you to go back to talk to Sam. Because I want to be sure. This was this past Sunday night. And she said, okay. Hi, Kiki. Hi, Parsley Rosa. Greetings. And I said, I want you to ask him 2 questions. And I'm going to ask him the same thing on this side. So if you don't get it, I will get it over here. Ask him, Does he want me to do this? Because I don't want to get in trouble. I asked him. She said, well, I'm going to tell you right off before I get off the phone and ask him again. He does have anxiety when I told him that you were doing it. I said, he probably doesn't know who I am. Tell him I'm Jackie Wilson's daughter. I know he never heard of me because my father hadn't seen me at the time, and he was arguing with my mother, so my father probably never mentioned it. You ask both of them, and then I'm going to ask both of them, is it okay? So I said, because I don't know how he got here or how he got to you and told you, and how she didn't know me. She wasn't a fan. She said, your video, I was looking at other psychics, and your video came up on YouTube. And then when I saw one of your reading, I said, whoa, I want her. And then she said, Sam Cooke said, I want you to tell her to read me, because I need the public to know another story about me. And said, I don't like that they said I raped that girl or that I tried to rape that girl. And so that was earlier in Sunday evening. And then she called me a few hours later, or I think I called her, because and she said that he said he was nervous because he thought I might judge him. And I said, please, I won't judge anybody. I ain't got no room to judge nobody. You know, him and my father went through a lot of the same issues. And I'm not, because my father's also accused of rape by, or attempted rape by Patty LaBelle, and I don't believe that. And I haven't seen any evidence of that. So I could relate to how he felt. And I said, you tell him that, and I'm going to tell him now. And I started asking him to come. I said, if this is what you would like to do, the Sam Cooke, I will do it. If you want me to, let me know. And I felt the anxiety, and I said, you don't have to be nervous, because that's not why I'm doing this. I just want you to tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I'm going to be quiet and let you tell me. And I was on the floor. I have my anatomy book here, and I have my notes. And Sam started to talk. I went into the first chakra. As you can see here, I got a lot of paper. You know how I do. I got all the paper here. And this is not even the whole reading. I had to stop it because I've had to do a little bit of it every day. And the last part woke me up today. And it got worse every day. They don't always get older, even though they chronologically get older on this side. They'll come in the way they left at the height, and the way they like theyself looking, and the way they want to see theyself. When Sunday I looked at it, he was a little like, I don't know if I should tell you. I said, you can tell me anything, Sam. And I started looking in the first chakra, and he had his hair nicely cut, the pretty teeth, and he had on some casual shoes, but they kind of had, like, I can't describe it. I know what it is when I see it. Like some almost look like sandals in the front, the way they leather, some real nice leather flats, but they kind of had holes, and like they were weaved together, like the fabric was braided, the leather was braided together, but it had holes in the middle, like in the little design. The back side was solid. This little small heel about that high, like a little nice wooden heel on them. They was like a beige color, and he had socks, and then he had on like some thin, like the nice socks, male socks, men dress up socks men wear. He had on some dark colored slacks. They was real neat, like they fit him perfectly. Had on a cream color shirt. Excuse me, and it was that like open. The chest was open. And he all of a sudden, like the anxiety left. So I guess he seen I was okay. I wasn't trying to hurt him or say nothing fucked up. And he jumped up because I was sitting in my bedroom. He jumps up on my bed. And I said, because my bed is bigger than me. And it's so high because I'm not that big. I have to step up to get on my bed. He jumps up, lays on the bed to the side, and starts grinning. And I said, well, I guess he ain't full of anxiety no more. And he said, can I sit on your bed so I can talk? I said, well, isn't that something? Hi, Pastor Girl. You asked me after you sit on my bed. Yeah, you can stay up there. You know, so I'm saying, okay, he's silly. You know, he starts to kind of play with me and crack little jokes. So I like that. And I said, you stay up there, and I'm going to stay down here and sit on the floor, and you say what you want to say. And let me get through this, because it's a long one. When I looked at the first chakra, I said, Sam, let me see through your eyes. Let's start with the day that you were murdered. Let me see that, because I don't know what happened. And he said, sure, I will let you get in my body, and you can feel what I feel, what I felt, and he still feels. And I will let you see through my eyes. Hi, beautiful Alonzo. Hello. And I'm trying to say it, y'all, but I don't want to cry. It's very hard. That's why I kept saying, not that I didn't want to do it, but I knew there was going to be some things that I didn't want to see that would be very difficult. That's why I kept saying, not me. And I didn't want to be the one to say it. So I will say it this time, even though I'm acting like I'm very emotional about this, I will say to you, this is just for fun, and this is for entertainment purposes only. We're just saying this for fun, because I don't want anybody attacking me. I don't want any issues. I don't want any legal issues. I'm just doing this for entertainment. That's all. You don't have to believe shit I say. You can turn it off now. Yeah, Christina. He trusted the person. Hi, Yolanda. Hi, beautiful. When I got in Sam's body, because he was in my room with me, and I got through his eyes, the first thing, it was weird to me because I've never seen this in a reading. He started showing me things like it was a piece of a puzzle. It was this piece and that piece and this vision. Instead of a whole vision, it was a piece of a location and a piece here and a piece there. And yeah, he is here, along with the other beings. And I'm just shaking. And the heat, I just turned the heat on because it is cold in Georgia, but my whole body's just shaking. I'm not scared. I don't know. When I got in his body and got in his eyes, the first shit I seen was Sam outside with one shoe on and one damn shoe off and some pants like they was jacked up, or somebody had took them off and put them back on, and the shirt, and he was like this, and this white man was standing behind him with his hands. He was holding him from the back of his hand. He was jacked up under the arm, and he was like this, dead, in the street. And I said, Sam, what the fuck? One shoe on, one shoe off, and the shoe that was off, he was barefooted. I'm getting chills all over. The foot had no sock and no shoe on it. And he was out in the front of the motel, and it was wet. His foot, under the sole of the foot, was wet. Water looked like it was running down his leg on his foot, on the one that was barefoot with no sock and then no shoe. I don't know where the shoe was. He showed me that. I seen that piece. I said, what the fuck is this? He showed me that. And they had him. It was a tall white man standing behind him, and he had his arm from the behind, holding him up under the armpit like that, dragging him. And he was like this, just like this. And I looked at him and said, what is this? And then I saw that section where they drug him from, I seen the car, but Sam did not drive the car. It was a white man in the car rubbing all on the car, rubbing all on the front seat, looking like lusting, like, man, I want this car. Now this is my car. Looking all around it. Yep. Not the fat black line. Goddamn Phil nigga bitch. Not her. Then, so I'm feeling fucked up. And I'm saying, Sam, what did you just show me? Because that's not what they said. So I see that man drag him from one location to, and I see, it's not a big hotel, it's a motel. Takes him up towards the motel, taking him to a room. But I'm saying he already looked like he dead. And then went to another scene. And he say, I'm going to let you see through my eyes. So I said, okay, Sam, he's in the room. He's in a room. Which confused me. So that means it must have been somewhere else. In another room. Because somewhere else before they brought him there. Because in some place he seen me, he was awake. Then some place he showed me he was halfway awake. And some he was out. And then he was dead. So I guess we kind of going backwards. Where he showed it to me. So I just took it as he give it to me like pieces. Now I done put it together. It took me a whole week, but I done put a lot of it together. And I know that's what happened. He was one spot. It's Martoni's and it's PJ's. I got to upload that picture to show y'all. But let's finish this. Okay. He said, I'm going to let you see in me. Go in my eyes. I said, okay. I got in his body and I was looking through his eyes. He was standing up at first and he was trying to walk. And then he felt okay. He had some drinks with the girl. But before that, he had got to arguing, and this is what he told me. His life was threatened more than one time. His life had been threatened that night by a white man. But to me, the white man had black eyes and black hair. Kind of look Italian-like. He said they had got into an argument because the man had offered him a proposition. This wasn't the first night and the first... Oh, I feel somebody walked up closer when I said this wasn't the first time. It wasn't the first threat. Because they wanted Sam to give... They first said something. He said they said that I stole some money. Hey, baby, I missed you too. And I said, you stole some money? He said, but I didn't do it. It was between me and this other white man that I trusted. They said I owed them some money. And I said, okay. He said they was talking to me about the money and trying to get money from me. And also, hi, beautiful Mickey Howard. Trying to get into the business that he started and the ownership of what he had created in his publishing. And Sam, what made them mad, I'm just going to tell you honestly, I don't know if it's true, but Sam started laughing when the man proposed he do this and was like, you out your fucking mind. And he like, you a uppity nigga. You don't realize you're a nigga. You think you're special. And you're going to tell me no? He started laughing. He's like, that's exactly what the fuck I'm saying. I'm not giving you my shit. And I'm not paying you what you say. I owe you some more money from some other transaction. He said there was a white man involved. And the lady that gave me the donation to do this reading said, because I didn't know, there was a discrepancy about a billboard that Sam Cooke had when he was going back to the Copa to perform, and that Sam was supposed to pay for the billboard, or they say Sam was supposed to pay for the billboard, and Sam refused. And they said that he was supposed to give them some money. So I did not, when she told me that, and said she saw it in a book someone wrote about Sam's life, and that someone that he knew, and those business issues. So he's told me he had an argument with a white man earlier that night, and the man looked Italian to me. And Sam told me, he said, where I was, I saw the man smoking. Looked like he might have had a cigar, and I'm not sure if Sam was smoking or smoked or had a cigarette. he told me, he said, Alexyss, the ashtray, he said it was red and white in the building I was in. So I believe it was PJ's, because he said the ashtray was a clear glass ashtray, and it was red and white. When I looked at it, and the girl sent it to me, y'all can look this up. There is a clear glass ashtray, and in the middle of the ashtray, it got PJ's, and it looks like a white kind of shield with a cross in the middle and red, and it's got P and J. He said that's where I was when this happened, and I laughed it off and said I wasn't going to do anything. I wasn't going to give him anything. And he said before that day, his life had been threatened again. There had been arguments with him about wanting his property, wanting money from him, wanting to come into and take what he had, and he refused. And he was threatened to be killed. He said he knew that they wanted to kill him, but he just really didn't take it that serious. He kind of just laughed out, yeah, whatever. I got control of this now. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you my shit. Sam was very strong. He didn't back down. And some white men really didn't like Sam. He had enemies. And from what he told me, there were females that didn't like him either, because of the way their relationship went or didn't go, and children, and not being able to control him or hold on to him, or he wouldn't be faithful a lot of times. He wouldn't commit. He'd do what he wanted to do. They didn't like because he looked them in their eye, and he did not see them as something special or above him. He looked at white men and said what he thought and what he felt, and really wasn't afraid of them and their threats. And he said this was an ongoing thing, and he thought he was going to die. He said before this, because of some type of confrontation where he knew that they wanted to kill him, and a gun was pulled on him. So if y'all can find this, let me know. I'm going to keep looking, and it involved the police. So I don't know if he was stopped at some point, or they were pretending like they were going to do something to him because they could have gotten away with it. He said those things had happened several times, and the threats, and he had gotten into it with a white man that night. And the man said, you are not going to get away with this. Sam laughed it off, left with the girl. Okay, he told me that part. So I saw there was a confrontation and some slick words by Sam, because he had a slick mouth from what I could see about him. You're not going to just talk to him any kind of way or do him the way you want to do him. Okay, he showed me that. Then, when I'm in his eyes and I'm looking through his eyes, he said, I saw my killer. I saw who killed me. I said, did the fat lady, the black lady, kill you? When I looked through his eyes and he let me see, I saw this white man. But I wouldn't say he's like white. I say he's Italian. So he's in one of the white subcategories, because he had black eyes and black hair, like a part, and it was kind of slick, like greasy, like the way he had it, or whatever he had on it was shiny, like slick, and he had it cut low. And he looked down. But first, let me tell you this. When I was looking through his eyes, Sam seen the girl, Eliza, and there was another white girl in there, and the girl had blonde hair like a bouffant. He said it was a go-go dancer. And she was also controlled by the mob. On the low, prostitute, drugs. Eliza was also controlled by the mob. Eliza was an MK Ultra mind control sex slave, had been abused and programmed to trick niggas and set niggas up, burn them out. Different ones. She wasn't the first one and the only one. She was sick on him. And Sam told me that when the first night he seen her, he had seen her before. But he trusted the girl because they had seen each other before. When this happened, by the time he started feeling fucked up, that's when he realized that he had fucked up and trusted the wrong bitch. That it was set up, but that's what she do. That's her job. She move around and do that. See a nigga, got money, doing something she want to tag for money, turn a trick. But this was different. She didn't target Sam just to sell some pussy. I'm telling you, this was something else. And by the time they get in the room, she either finna fuck, suck dick. All of a sudden, they done got naked and shit, wallet out. Motherfuckers bust in the room. He naked. She got the wallet, got the money, cost, whatever's in there. And then she play that nut roll like, oh my God. And then take off running. You get around the corner, you get them nails, you get your little goddamn cut, and you pull the shit on somebody else. Or you slip them a goddamn Mickey. This was all designed that way. And again, like I said, this just for entertainment. So don't mind what the fuck I say. I'm really not serious. I'm just doing this shit for laughs. The record execs, mob, government, who else? Police were in this shit. They was with that shit. That's what he told me. Sam, he said he was possibly on 2 watch lists. Under J. Edgar under J. Edgar Hoover, COINTELPRO. Now when he telling me this shit, I really don't want to finish this. But again, this ain't real. This is just entertainment. Okay? Because I don't want no problems. He told me, and it was also a white man that came in here that was a high-ranking executive that was also / government CIA. He say they had to do this to Sam then because it would be more expensive later. Sam was a problem or future problem politically with the way a lot of black people thought at the time. It was scary and was victims and did have no political or economic power. And the stuff he said and the stuff he did with that record label, and then teaching, taking on acts and teaching black people how to own their masters and own their own publishing, their own company. They said we wasn't having the shit. Because if he had stayed alive and set that label up and brought other acts in and educated them and controlled it and then got his own distribution and then started to put this out in the masses, it is a possibility Sam would have caused us problems because he would have created civil unrest and disobedience in the damn niggas. And they wasn't having that shit. That's where J. Edgar Hoover cross-dressing ass and the COINTEL shit. Now I can't prove what I'm saying. Sam was on that goddamn watch list, and there were record executives that were also / secret agents that said he had to go because when they talked to him, Sam didn't want to hear that shit. He wanted to be his own man, and he did not want to comply. So the white man told me that they had already set that shit in motion and planned that shit before Eliza had happened to be in the restaurant when he seen her. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a coincidence. He was set up and he was also followed. His house was bugged. The phone was tapped. Alan Klein. That was one of his handlers. I don't know. He trusted this man for some reason and had that man a part of his company and the label. That's another part here. he knew about it, and he was with that shit. He was with it too. Because he had a lot more to lose if Sam Cooke had taken him off his paperwork. When Sam started figuring it out, they had already been following him. They already had a psychological profile on Sam. Based on the statistical probability and knowing his psychology and the research they had done on mind control and had studied Sam's behavior and his background and his birthday, watching his house, listening on the phone, watch where he go, how he like women, his lifestyle, whatever he drank, where he liked to go do it at. They had talked to his wife. See, I don't want to go there. She knew about it. Because he would say what he thought and what he felt. And when that child, they were saying that because the child drowned, she let the child drown. She was on the phone with a man. And she was having affairs. Sam was fucking around. Both of them were fucking around. It wasn't just him. But they had an understanding. Because from what I can see and from what Sam told me, Sam was the kind of person, you ask him straight up, he going, yeah, I'm fucking somebody else. Tonight, as a matter of fact, I ain't going to be in. I'm going to come in late. That's why there was a lot of resentment between them. Because he was the type of person, you confront him, you ask him, if this ain't going well, he told her. And his wife Barbara, had a lot of resentment, a lot of hatred towards him. And she had been spoken to, stepped to, about him and what he was getting ready to do. He wanted to divorce her, and he wanted Alan Klein out of his business. But what he didn't know was how diabolical and treacherous Alan Klein was, and that he was a part of the cabal. So by the time this lady, Eliza Boyer, see him, it's basically a wrap, because he trusts her and he like her and he hanging with her. And he said he had seen this lady before that day. They had a little something going on. I don't know how to prove it or where it's at, because it's hard to find anything about her. And I see that she liked Sam at first, even though she was sick on his ass. She was put on him. He was a mark. He was a sucker. And they knew he liked women and sex and drinking and high living and money and fast cars and all that. So she came on him basically on the psychological profile, and them watching him, they said, we're going to take him down like this. And if we don't get him like this, then we know he would be considered a political prisoner. We would start setting him up. It would be IRS issues. It would be more paternity issues, where he actually is in and out of court. And if we can get something on him or set him up, he going to jail. That's what they said. They were going to keep it up like they did Tupac. Because they were afraid of him. And this one man could make all these black people, they could create an army, and then they would disrupt this and they would overthrow us potentially in power. I guess he didn't know that that's how he was seen, as a dangerous man, public enemy to them, not to black people. They wanted them to stay just where they were. So when I looked in his eyes, I started doing this, because when the woman, and then he showed me the other one there with the blonde hair, he said was a go-go dancer. She didn't say the whole thing though. I see a hallway. His eyes started to blur. So one person to me started turning into four people. One head started to then blur and turn to four heads. One person is blurring like this and spreading. One voice starts trailing off and echoing. Then I saw like four people. I saw 3 to 4 white men in this room, and they were talking, and the female was talking, looking at him, and then Their voices blurred together. So I couldn't hear what each individual was saying, because in his mind and through his eyes, I'm seeing the eyes blurring and folks running together. One person turning into three or four. Four people just look like a long blur full of color. And I said, wait, whoa, Sam. And he said I could stand up and I could walk. Then my legs started wobbling and then my feet started stepping on each other. And I had to lean to the wall. And then I couldn't get back up and I slid down. He said he couldn't keep his balance. I said, whoa, wait a minute, Sam. Did they drug you? He said, yes. I said, what the fuck they give you? He said, they gave me barbiturate. I said, barbiturate? I look it up. I'm seeing this, and it's about 3 to 4 types of barbiturates. So I said, okay, finally, because I've heard people say a Mickey and some drop, but never a name. He told me the name, and I look it up, and he said, then it got to the point I could see, I could move, then I couldn't see. He said, I couldn't keep my eyes open. He said, then I could talk. He said, then it moved where his mouth was slurred, where I heard the sound coming out of my throat. He said, then I opened my mouth, wasn't no sound, and then I couldn't open my mouth at all. And I was laid back, mouth closed, eyes closed. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. And I'm laying in him feeling it. He said, I could hear. Everything was being said. He said, and I could feel everything being done to me. He said, but I could not do anything about it. Hello, Will. He said, I could not move. I could not run. I could not fight. I couldn't scream. He said, I couldn't even see no more. I was just laying there like this. He said, but I heard them talking and I felt everything they did to me. So I felt myself dying. And before it looked, I'm getting a feeling, I'm going to look back at it again. I think Sam was drugged 2 times, because I think the first Mickey wore off, or they didn't give him enough, because he was able to, they got him after that argument. They got him either in the back of that club or outside somewhere. He did not drive. Yes, they rendered him helpless and they knew he would fight. You know what? I'm glad you said, oh, Jesus, because I'm finna tell you why in a minute, Christina. It's very important. They did this at one spot, and now I'm thinking since it was coming to me in pieces, that must have been the first place they had him. Not where they found him in that ran down, funky looking ass, cheap ass motel. That's not where he would pick to go. But they want to humiliate the man and discredit the man and degrade the man. So hey, you put that out and got the man half naked for everybody to see, and he with a hoe, and tried to snatched her clothes off and snatch her damn drawers down and say he want to fuck her in the ass so bad that he tried to of course, because you do that, you want to humiliate this superstar and this brilliant genius of a man who was quite an intellectual and a thinker. I'm not saying he wasn't hard and he didn't love women, but he didn't do that. And he was too classy and elegant to just like to take her there and do that. Especially now that I'm seeing what he let me see, and he was in and out and was drugged with barbiturates. And I'm still working on this because I told the girl this is so long and fucked up and it's bothering me. Yeah, Jenna. It's bothering me that I really hate to look at this. I said, so I'm going to wrap it up because it's taken a whole week to do. And I said, if you want me to do a part 2, I'll just tell them this is part 1 and I'll come back. She said, okay, I'll give you another donation to do part 2 because it took me so many twists and turns in here, like what I told you earlier with the government, the COINTELPRO, the police in it, the record execs who are also slash CIA, mind control agents. And when he before he got unconscious, that man looked down at him and he say, I want you to see who is getting ready to kill you. He said, do you remember me? When you talked shit to me and you laughed and I tried to make a proposition to you earlier tonight and you always got something smart to say. You know, I don't want to just kill you or let you go out. I want you to see who's going to do this to you. I want you to know. And I'm seeing this through his eyes. She knew about it. She benefited from it. I'll say that. And when he did this, that's the reason why I put Santisa here. For you to see her. Because I'm going to tell you, I never felt no shit like this in my life. When this white man said this to him, and I saw 2 or 3 other white men standing there present, because they were trained killers. And they were also high. They had a practice of doing this. This is what they called in for, was a hit squad. They loved to do it. Got off on it. And that's why he said, I want you to see me before you die, because I am going to kill you. And you know, I want you to know. And this coldness I've never felt in my life. It was not a natural coldness. A chill surrounded the room. It was the extreme coldness and some of the most extreme hatred and rage that I felt towards Sam that I have never felt. Hello, Gemini. Hello, beautiful. I have never felt that much rage and anger towards somebody. It was so thick. It was just overwhelming in the room. And he said, I'm going to do this to you. And he was already angry with Sam. And the anger was so deep and the rage was so deep that he built up. When Sam, he laid back and I said, what did they do to you? Where they hit you? And he said, they hit me in my head, like on the side of the head and with the ear and the, like all through here. But what they hit him with, I was confused. I knew it wasn't a knife, but I knew when they came down, whatever they hit this man with, they hit him with so much force. And I keep feeling like it's something metal. It's either a bat, like a metal bat, or a long metal pipe. It wasn't a knife. Because even if you stab somebody, it wouldn't have. When he hit him in the side of, he said, they hit me right here. And when he hit him, it felt like it hit him so hard that the skin bust open. It tore open. And when it hit, it was big chunks of blood, and it went up to, it went up. It's where he hit him. The way he hit him with it splattered up. And then it moved like a half, like a rainbow arch, like a semicircle. It moved. It was so big chunks like this. And they went up and splattered. And then they hit him again and was just beating him. And he's like, it's this crack in my brain, like crack in my head. And it looked like it was, it touched the brain because I see blood underneath his skull. He said, they hit me right here. They hit me in my eye. They hit me in my nose. And it was like it was the cracked. The bone was cracked. And it started to swell. And the eye was popping like he said he couldn't see out of one eye. And I'm just, at this point, I'm sick. And my head is throbbing. And I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know if I can do this. And I said, so they was beating you in the head? He said, yep, they kept hitting me so hard. And every time they hit him, it was tearing. And then the blood was just doing this. And it was everywhere. It was just blood everywhere, and it was going up on the wall. And I'm just like, oh my God, you. He was laying there, and he started saying, "Oh Lord, oh Lord, be with me, Lord, be with me, Jesus." And I said, "Sam, what are you saying? Are you praying?" And he said, "Yes, I was praying." And I said, "What was that? Was that a prayer that you know, or that you wrote or something?" He said, "Yeah, I know it." And I said, "What is it? Is it a song or something?" And he said, "Yes." And so the next day I said, "Sam, show me the song," because I'd never heard his songs, and I knew he had gospel. I never heard the gospel. And I found the song. I found like a collection on YouTube. It was like an album with all these songs. And the first one I saw is "Be With Me, Jesus." And if you go look at that song, and the one I saw, I clicked for information underneath it, and it's the words. You need to listen to the words, and you need to read the words. I swear I never seen this in my life, because I didn't grow up on Sam Cooke's music. I didn't grow up on my father Jackie Wilson's music. None of the albums were in the house. I never heard their stuff, unfortunately. I didn't grow up hearing any of it. And so this was the first time I heard the gospel song. And I don't remember it all, but it's saying, "Oh Lord, be with me in my dying hour, and I'm about to die." I mean, it says stuff like that. And they were like, he was singing with the gospel group, and they were backing him up, and the song is talking about dying. And "Lord, be with me when I'm dying." He said what I heard him say. And I'm just like, I can't do this. And then I just started crying, because that's what I heard him when he was laying there. But when you would look at him, you wouldn't think that he was praying, because he wasn't moving. He looked like he was dead, but he wasn't dead. He said, "I felt. For a certain period of time, I felt it when they hit me." He said, "Then they hit me in the back of my head. They hit me in my back. They kicked me in my stomach. They kicked me in my ribs." They was like beating him. And then he said they broke his nose. He's like, when they hit him in the side of the face, clearly this was somebody obviously jealous and wanting to destroy him. Beat him in the face and the head, all up in here, and in his nose, and the bone, like right here, was deviated and cracked, broke. He's like, they broke my nose, and when they was hitting him in it, it's like the bone part started going up, like back. Looked like it touched the brain, or it was very close to it, because I see all this tissue. It was soft tissue that was damaged by the bone and with the bone, and it was so swollen in there, it like it was hanging. I looked for an autopsy report. I didn't see one, so I can't prove what I'm saying. I don't know anybody that knows him or that saw it, but all this was fucked up because it was beat in. But he remembers, because he felt a lot of the blows. They were trying to tear all this up in the bone. I keep saying underneath here was, in the face, was crack, like fractures, hairline fractures here, 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 around the ears, the neck, especially the back of the neck bone, all this and all around the neck was fucked up, beat in, all down in here. And he's saying it was fractures in his ribs, all in the chest. He said, "I felt like my chest was caved in, like they could stick their hand in my chest if they wanted to." He said that's how broken and open his body felt. The legs kicked, beat all in the legs. Like this was bent like this, trying to break it. beat them all around in here. And at this point, I'm so hurt because I'm just like, this man didn't deserve this. I could see if he was a rapist, a child molester, a murderer or something, I wouldn't feel bad. But then when I started feeling that and I saw it and he told me, and I believed I was feeling and seeing the right person. I believe this is the soul that came to me. My head started pounding. I was angry. I was heartbroken. I was enraged. And I said, I can't do this. And I called this girl and I told her what I just said. And I said, girl, my head's hurting me so bad right now. And I'm so angry and I'm so messed up by this. I don't know if I can go further with this. And she said, what? And I told her what he said and what he saw. I said, I know what it was that they gave him. I said, he told me, and then he told me what they did to him and how he could feel it, but he was paralyzed. And when you look up barbiturate, you will see that's what that does. Barbiturates were even used at one point as an anesthetic in surgery. It paralyzes the person. It makes them hallucinate. They can hear, they can feel, but they cannot tell you, and they cannot move. And so I looked at the basic structure of one, but then I heard another one, another barbiturate, but then it showed me, I got the feeling of DHT or DMT because his pineal, the pituitary, like the gland started to, he started to hallucinate. And I said, well, Sam, did they give you something else? Because you're hallucinating. But I know the barbiturates, they will also make you hallucinate. He was somewhere else in the head. And then the pieces, he's showing me pieces again. So I'm having to put the timing together and the date to see, did this happen before? Did this happen after? Where does the piece go? And then I'm saying, maybe they gave him something else. Like when it started to subside, but now I kind of think that they wanted it to subside because the man talked to him. When he said, he bent down. He was looking down at Sam, which tells me either Sam was sitting or Sam was on his knees or both. He was on one point sitting because he laid back. And the man, when he talked to him, it wasn't like this, eye to eye. He had to look down. You remember? Do you remember? Well, this is what I'm going to do. Chilly. Fucking chilly. To be in a room and someone tell you that. And it's so thick in the room. And it was so demonic to know, because he knew. I'm not leaving this room alive. And to say that to somebody and to feel it, no, baby, he felt the pain. It's just you're paralyzed, but you can still feel, just like you've heard stories of people, or you can look them up, when they were in surgery under anesthesia and they didn't give them enough, or they had a high tolerance for whatever they gave them, and the person woke up during the surgery and couldn't scream, couldn't move, but they felt the cutting, felt themselves being cut open and couldn't. The doctors didn't know because the body, yes, it's a paralytic. And that's why I don't know the angle of the bullet, but I know that they were like this. This person was over Sam. So when they got him down, to hit someone and they're down here, they're lower. It's everything. I don't know, like you get a better, it's more force with it when you're going down. Striking someone that hard with something big like that. And I keep feeling metal. It might have been a wood bat, but I keep seeing metal too. Either a metal bat or metal pipe. It was long. What they hit him with was long. They might have hit him with a gun too, because of the type of blow and the way he let me see the blood flying. But yet when you see him on the ground, you don't see no blood. And he was shot. They say it went through the... Yeah, Christina, I'm wondering. I just don't want to look at this right now. I need a break. But I just wanted to do the first part to get it out, because every day something come to me. And when I look at this too, let me tell you something. But I will read this part when I said Eliza Boyer is an MK Ultra military mind control sex slave, a drug addict, a traveling junkie, because she move around and pull this shit that they sick on. And that's why she never did a lot of time for prostitution, drug use, or being... She got bodies on her. Being around, niggas come up missing, niggas come up dead. Her ass is round. Nothing don't happen to her ass. That should tell you something that happened to somebody. Just like a drug dealer caught with a whole bunch of drug keys and shit. Nigga out the next day or the next goddamn month. Nigga informing. Nigga move around like that. That's what it is. It said traveling junkie, a liar, multiple identity con artist. A professional liar. She has multiple personality and dissociative disorder. Look at her. Go look at a picture. When you look at her, her eyes is black and dead and empty and cold. And then when her and that black lady was testifying, they had them shades on. The black lady is more like, well, yes, sir, Master Isaac, come. Okay, Master Isaac, do what you say. Just give him the money. Bitch, your fat ass will be found stinking around the corner. So you do this. You're going to say this. We're going to show you how to stage this and hold this gun. You're going to say that he did this and jumped on you. He couldn't have jumped on her. Not from what I seen. He didn't get out, and I had to fight him, and I tried to bite him through his jacket. Yeah, bitch. No, you didn't do that. That was all staged for them to put that shit together. This woman, Eliza Boyer, is sick and twisted. She turns it on and she turns it off. She is also a part of a secret society. She was initiated into this society, and there were black magic rituals done, and the demons that I saw, because I was also waiting on them. I didn't see them Sunday night. When I did the reading, I see them Monday. But I did start seeing beings around the house. Giants. They look like the Nephilim of the Bible. Which got me curious, because they look like Nephilim. They were the Watchers. The same similar ones I saw with Michael Jackson and Joe Jackson's reading. When I told you that they came here and told me he was going to die. And that his mother, Catherine, was sick and couldn't walk. So I'm walking around the house, and I said, I'm waiting on y'all. If you would please honor me with your presence. Because some of this stuff, I can't put this shit together. Unless y'all come in here and tell me. Yes, she lured him, but too, they had done magic too. They had a doppelganger, and she claimed she was he didn't kidnap her. Because they knew each other. They had seen each other before that day. And she liked him. And he liked her. Why? Because from what he told me, I'm going to try to keep it PG. He said she'd do whatever. He didn't have to worry about no pregnancy. He didn't have to worry about no babies. Her trying to put cuffs on him. You're going to marry me. I'm going to take you to court. You know it's your... They didn't have to deal with all that. And she was real, whatever he say, freaky like. And I said, well, what you saying, Sam? I was joking with her, but I said, so what, you just going all in her stomach, you hitting the bottom? He said, to be honest with you, it wasn't always about going in the stomach. He said, it's also, she would do the tailbone. I said, Lord have mercy, you're going this lady tailbone. He said, yeah, whatever. And I was very relaxed. I was very comfortable. I felt like I could be myself with her. She massaged me. I seen something about water. Like either they took a shower together or they had gotten wet. I don't know, pool, jacuzzi, something like that. Before he had spent time with this girl. I'm trying to tell y'all, she was told to do this, to make him relax and comfortable and trust her. He's like, it was just chill. And I relax, I get off, I do what I want to do, and then I go about my business, and I don't have to worry about no drama. He's like, that's what I liked about her, and I trusted her. I thought she was cool because I had seen her before. And it was never any drama. So he thought that it was safe to deal with her. But then I'm seeing when the demons start to come in, one of the main ones, let me tell you, was Azazel and Jezebel. You can research what I'm saying. Azazel is a very powerful king demon under Satan. And he has legions under him. In the Jewish Bible, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's, I say Torah. And in the regular Bible, it speaks of these demons that were also beautiful angels. So they're half demons, half angelic, and they fell from heaven. Let me tell you about Azazel. Azazel taught man weapons, gave man weapons, metal weapons, to fight and kill plants and herbology to make what? Pharmaceuticals. And he is also known as the scapegoat. Every year during Yom Kippur, now what I'm saying now is not for entertainment, it's true. Yom Kippur. The rabbi does the scapegoat ritual, which the demon angel Azazel is responsible for, because Azazel is called the scapegoat. They will take 2 goats. One is a Judas goat. One goat is slaughtered as a sacrifice for the sins of the people. The other goat is ran off into the woods to carry the sins of the people away and to never return. When I looked at Eliza and they started to speak to me about her, she's also a witch, a secret witch, a part of the secret order. It could be, because there are also female Masons as well as Eastern Star. Even though she has the mind control issues and she's fractured, that also makes her very powerful, because they have the altars that they can trigger to get our ass in line, or when there's a certain personality they want to come out to put a hit out on a nigga. So she was taught all forms of black magic, sex magic, and seduction, and how to put a pill in a nigga drink. Set a nigga up. The Mickey, as they call it. And she had done a sex ritual and did the magic and put some shit in her pussy. Oh, women could still do that today. That's another show. We'll get into it. Put it up in now, so that when he have sex with her, he'll be more mesmerized and seduced by her, and she'll be able to control him and have him to follow her and to come back to her. See, this bitch is the damn Judas goat. He is the sacrificial goat. You see what I'm saying? Because when I looked at this, there was about 3 or 4 days ago, I was in the kitchen watching, yes, cunning as fuck, think like a damn nigga. I wonder, did she have a twin, or was she the fucking transsexual? Because if you look at her, you can Google her. This motherfucker eyes is ice fucking cold. She's a cold ass, vampire ass bitch. Now the one little girl part of her that started liking Sam, I think they had a meeting with her to ask how things will go. I already told you what the motive was, and it was on several levels by several different organizations and secret societies. I was standing, I felt somebody staring at me. And I looked, and when I looked, I seen the rabbi. He had on black and red. Only one who couldn't get away with it. No, that's not why they got away with it, because it was a hotel. That's what I said. It's not the hotel itself, it's the players involved. High-level players involved. And when they put some shit out on you and point their motherfucking finger at your ass is fucked. Unless some way you can make it right. And with these particular ones, the only way that he can make it right, which Sam was not going to do, was to become a slave and to give all his shit away that came from him, from his God mind and his higher self, and give it away. And it still wouldn't have been right. Because he would have been a walking dead man any fucking way. Numbered time, because he wouldn't back the fuck down. They had asked him to stop this shit before, and he wouldn't stop. There was nothing wrong with what he did. But see, he done already got in the bed with the devil. And if they say your damn contract up, your number up, unless I want this, that, it belongs to you, but I want to take it. So you either comply with this shit, nigga, or your ass wake up dead. He said, I'm not complying. You do what you do, I do what I do. We see who win, but I'm telling him I'm not complying with the shit though. And he had the death threats. He kind of didn't take it seriously, and he was told, because he told me he wasn't getting the bodyguard. I said, Sam, why you didn't get the bodyguard? Because from what you told me, I see who you was fucking with. I see who you was rolling with. Malcolm, Muhammad, that was then Cassius Clay. You should have known then. You just grinned. Yeah, I know. I know, but you know, I was going to do what I was going to do. Whatever it was, what it was. I said, Sam, I'm not saying it wasn't going to happen. I'm just saying, then I said, you know what, I'm sorry. What's done is already done. I just want to know why you didn't have them as bodyguards, especially when you told me you had been threatened before that time, before that night, and they was telling you they was gonna kill you, and they didn't like your mouth, and you was an uppity nigga, and you ain't know your place, and you don't remember that you ain't white, and all this shit. You said that they pulled a gun on you. But then I said, no, just keep then sitting on the bed. I'm sorry. It don't matter. I just want to know how you was thinking, because I see that you was a bad motherfucker. Now that I really have the utmost respect and appreciation for him. Knowing that, knowing my dad was over there hanging with him, then it made sense. I said, God damn. Their lives, their death was parallel. They were both set up and shot up the same kind of way, because I know Sam got the pill, but I'm kind of wondering about a shot. I still want to look at it some more, because this shit, I keep saying it was a down period and a up. Yeah, I ain't want to say that. I didn't want to say that up through there, because he had some nice organs. It was very, very lean, very young, still a young man in his prime. healthy. And I said, I don't want to think that, so I didn't ask about it right then. We didn't talk about it. Back to the goats. When I saw the ritual, what came in here, Azazel appeared to me. The man's face morphed into Azazel's face, and it looked like a goat head with these big devil horns on the head, with a man's body. And then he shaped back to a man, and then he looked at me. It was a white man. And then he shift back to the demon head with the big, they was curved up like this, and to let me know. I'm like this. And I said, thank you. Okay. And then I looked on each side of him. There's a jet black goat, and there's a snow white goat. I said, Sam was the scapegoat. And the only way to get him down in that situation was to have a Judas goat. The bitch. She was down with it and had done the rituals with them. I saw there was a black magic ritual done on Sam to prepare for the physical takedown. There was a ritual done with her and body fluids that she had gotten from Sam. And the 3 men that were there were also in secret Masonic societies, because I seen one. Now, I seen a picture with Sam having a ring on it, but I seen the man that hit him had a ring too. So I don't know if he stole Sam's ring or he just happened to also have one like that. And this man told me that when he hit him, I wish I could have seen if there was an autopsy, but I kind of feel like there wasn't one, because I looked at the coroner. I found the coroner for that year, and I saw that coroner that was in office during that period, I think in 62, had performed the autopsy on Marilyn Monroe. He was still in office in 64 when Sam was murdered, because he didn't retire till 67. I know because I looked at it. It was Dr. Theodore Curfey. He was first in Nassau County, California, and then he went to Los Angeles. So he was the coroner there. But there's no autopsy, which tells me even more. We know what this is. Because they didn't want this question. They didn't want the body where the public could have access to what actually happened to this man and to see the reports on the man. If y'all know, please, I could be wrong. I don't see the autopsy for Sam Cooke. I don't see a report. But I'm not that savvy. I'm not that tech savvy. So maybe y'all that are better than me at finding stuff, you might find it, but I don't see anything. And then he was replaced by Dr. Noguchi, and I didn't see he did it, because he came there after 64, after 67. Something's off about this. And there is a policeman. I have a lot of stuff here. I'm sorry, I was trying not to make this long, and y'all asked me stuff at first about different stuff, and this is such a hard reading for me. I can't read it all to you, but I will explain, like when I was saying that she was doing magic a minute ago, and they had a secret black mass ritual, a satanic ritual, where they actually did a mock killing of Sam Cooke. See, they do that just like you get a voodoo doll, and you put the person's name or anything in their body, secretion you can get, you put their picture on there, and you start to project that energy to the person. If you want that person to die, I love you, whatever. So I didn't see like a voodoo doll itself. I saw something bigger, like someone that actually looked like Sam. there was a actual killing, like a doppelganger, to set the energy in motion, to attract and to attach that demonic spirit to Sam Cooke and to pull it in, literally talk to and program his soul before the body, they made contact with it, to violate, murder, humiliate, degrade, assassinate, and try to obliterate this beautiful man. He didn't see that part. I don't know, maybe he did have somebody around to say what I'm saying. Yes, not just to die, but to steal. See, this wasn't that. Like just killing for the fuck of it. It wasn't that. So many people got paid. And a lot of stuff, it was stolen from him. Yes, control the narrative of the death to the public. Cheap motel, drugs, hookah, case closed. And then not let them see the body and examine the body. This man is still fucked up about this shit. Still crying about that shit. And wishing he could go back and do it over. That's why he started telling me the different ones involved. And my eyes, I'm saying, what? Then I asked the girl that put me up to this shit. I said, do you know about any of this? Every day I read more what I find. Because I want to make sure she was pleased. Because she got me to do it so she could have her question answered. I said, I thought you might want to know this. And she said, oh, I know what that is, and I could go find it. So I told her about the COINTELPRO. She said, what is that? I said, girl, go study, because you're a little young, and go study. And I started looking for what he said to make sure I ain't fucked up. Because I'm real emotional, I'm tripping. I found it. You can find it too. This man was targeted. Politically targeted. Yes. On different levels. And with that, he was one of the ones. Along with Bob Marley, Tupac, and we know Tupac was targeted and on the watch list. They got Sam Cooke name right there. I never knew that about this man. When she came and she had her orders and they had done the spell and had the demon was present during the beating. When there was a wild frenzy, this man got turned on. The more he hit Sam, and this is a part of the demonic ritual, so it activated what they had already done, and they rushed into the room. And let me tell you something. Yes, Jenna. Yes, baby. When they hit him with the first blow, I saw something I had never seen in my life, and I asked, my girlfriend is Jewish, and she be teaching me things. I said, I got to tell you what I saw, and you got to tell me what it means. I say, when they had that bat, that long metal pipe, whatever they hit that man with and bust the skin, just literally like a knife had split it, spread it. Everywhere they was hitting him up here was just opening and cracking down in the bone. When it spread it and it went up, I saw Elohim. Angels. I saw the steam come up off the big drops of blood, the chunks of tissue. It came up and they started to stand and appear in the room, and they backed up and they started standing on the wall. Angels. They stood, because the word, that's what I'm saying, Elohim, because that's what they said to me. They was on one side of the wall, and then the other side of them, the demons were on the other side of the wall. I saw demons and angels talking to each other. One stood on this side, One stood on that side, and I'm watching saying, Sam, I knew that either somebody had been praying for Sam, somebody had been trying to put protection on Sam. There was something very spiritual and very powerful about Sam Cooke. He was a high vibration being that came here before his time. And he was doing what he was doing here in the previous lifetimes. His vibration was very high. I don't care about the women and stuff. That still don't mean the man wasn't very spiritual and very gifted. He had a very high vibration to bring in new information for a change is gonna come. He was one of the catalysts. From what I'm telling you, what I'm seeing, and what you go research, he came here. He had the angelic angels with him. But then because of the demonic pact that was made and the precautions not taken for him to have the bodyguards to surround him, the demonic pact was, yes, the difference between ghost and spirit. Because a ghost is really not a human. A body used to live. It's kind of like a fragment, a poltergeist or something that's kind of floating. I wouldn't have been able to get what I'm telling you if I was talking to a ghost. That's why I knew it was him. Because if he's saying things I didn't know. And then when I asked the girl and I started looking around reading things, I started seeing this is him. So you just have to test. You have to practice. You have to practice to know the difference. To me, this is still training and practice for me. And I appreciate you listening to it and you all wanting to know and engaging me in this. When they were there, unfortunately, the spell was allowed because there was no... there were no barriers put in place on Sam's side, and apparently nobody was doing the rituals that he needed done, and to follow him and check on him when he missing or when he don't call. I'm telling you, people wanted this to happen to this man, and I hate to tell you that his wife was okay with this. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I have the cards here. And this is how Sam told me he felt. Like this, he's the hangman. You know what that means? The martyr, the scapegoat, the sacrifice. He felt like he was sacrificed for what? Greed and money and his power and position as an entertainer. Somebody who didn't feel like they had as much as him but wanted everything he had. He knows. Sam knows now. He knew then, and even though it's been so long, his mind is clear. He's an extremely, very brilliant man. And for what he told me, and I said, tell me, Sam, through the cards, I started laying them out. I said, well, goddamn, you just got straight to the point. Real succinct with this shit, ain't you? Real clear. With no, I'm going to show you how clear it was. Trying to get pieces because I don't want to try to do all this with a reading. This is the girl, and I asked about her, and this is him. In the middle, you see, he was murdered, the Ten of Swords, and she was bound by oath to do this, and he was heartbroken. Why? Because he knew the bitch had betrayed him and set him up to be fucking crucified. He knew she did it. It come up right here. That broke that man heart because he didn't see it coming. Okay? See, this is him. This is not me. Because I said, Sam, tell me. Tell me. As I'm shuffling, tell me. Bam, bam, bam. I said, goddamn. This is exactly what you felt. And this is what you feel now. And looking back at her, when you're dealing with the black one, you're dealing with the underworld. You're dealing with the wilderness. The black one was ran out into the wilderness in the underworld, never to be seen and heard from again. That's what they thought they was going to do. You said, Christina, the fact is he was straight up with no chaser, man. Yes, Christina. And he wouldn't back down from this shit. Like that man he was in that man's face, and he told me they was having a conversation and it got heated. He said, Alexyss, there was a clear glass ashtray with red and white in it. And then I looked at PJs and seen the red and white. No, you're judged before you die. But then what is death? That's another show. Because there's 1 and 2 places you can go, only heaven and only hell. That's a myth. That's your fairy tale with your milk and cookies you get for bed. I don't believe that. And that's not what I see. And if that was the case, these people wouldn't talk to me the way that they do. Now, I'm not saying they talk to me. Put it that way. This is for entertainment purposes. But if you can take anything I've said, because some of the things I'm telling you, you never heard them anywhere. And I've never heard them anywhere. Some of them you have. But if you can go and research what I'm saying, that I said he told me, this spirit told me, and you can verify these things, then that means I'm not crazy, and this spirit is not in the ground in a grave, and he did not go to a heaven, and he did not go to a hell. This man is hurt, enraged, feeling very cheated, feeling very broken, feeling very betrayed, and he sees the fallout from what happened to him. Yes, PJs, yes. And I saw the red and the white. He said it was red and white color with a clear glass ashtray. That's why it was. And it was smoking in there. And he a proposition me, told me what I'm going to do. And I said, I'm not. I'm not. And he said, well, you know what's going to happen. I started insulting him. I know these say, mooly, you nigger, you uppity nigger. And Sam was like, oh, really? Okay. I'll see you later. I got to go. He was like, that made him, he's in a police. Yeah, that made them mad because he wasn't devastated in the threats and the insults. He laughed. We're doing a reading on Sam Cooke, the legendary icon Sam Cooke. Yep, he's stuck in between. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Because that fucked me up when I said, Sam, if you feel comfortable, I'm not here to hurt you. Let me tell you who I am. I introduce myself. Let me see. And then I see one shoe off and it's wet, which to me is very spiritual. You know, it reminds me of the Temperance Tarot card where the angel is standing there. One foot is on earth and the other barefoot, the tip is in the water. So I knew there was something very deep and intuitive and spiritual about Sam. Well, when people stay like that, they need what's called a soul retrieval. He was, yes, Christina. And he's like, well, this is what I feel is the right thing to do. This is what I was born to do. This is what I'm going to do while I'm here. And I want to get involved and I want to fight and I want to bring about change. And they were like, no, you're not going to do. We done told you now. And it was like, I don't care what you told me. And he knew that it's a possibility he would die for it. And he was warned, get bodyguards, Sam. But it was said he felt that in the hood, nobody wasn't going to hurt him. And they didn't. That's the thing. They didn't hurt him. That nobody black, I could be wrong, but I'm sorry. Nobody black hurt that man. Not that night. I know what I saw. Let me get to one more thing. going to tell you, yesterday was a fucked up day for me doing this. I didn't really sleep well. I was up, and then his lungs was fucked up. Because I'm seeing him go, ugh. And he's down, like in the chest, and all around the ribs. Because he's like, it's tender, it hurts. And his stomach was like this. His stomach was shaking. I'm not even sure if he vomited or I'd see him seizing. He went through a period where he started convulsing and like seizing, and his stomach was just shaking because his brain, from kicking and beating him in his head, his body went through these different phases. He let me see him going through these different changes before they shot him. Because you have to think about it. My neighbor, he was very muscular, and his brother would fight. And even though his brother was taller and fatter and bigger than him, he was afraid of the one that was my friend. That was like real cock diesel, like real muscular. And they argued about a plate of food one day, and the bigger, taller brother was just like, boom! Shot him in the chest, and it tore through the lung, and he collapsed on the floor. He only had a few minutes to live because the lung was deflated. It was a wrap. Brother only did like a few years. He out walking around now. And so I know when they didn't want to do that first because they wanted him to suffer, and they wanted him to know who did this. Okay. Yesterday, the girl that asked me to do the reading, she said she talked to Sam and asked, do she have permission to do the reading? And she said the light bulb, a good light bulb, said, psh, the light bulb went black. It was totally gone. They blew the bulb. So I said, I wish they'll do that shit to me. I said, 'cause you know, I've had that done when I say something to my father, and do you like the song, and do you want this, and they go like this, but they didn't blow. I said, they need to come do that to me, because I'm not saying you didn't hear them correctly, but I just want to make sure that they're okay with this. Okay. I'm doing the reading yesterday, and I'm looking at the parts because now the record executive and a police officer is starting to come speak to me yesterday, like the night before, and I said I got to get a little sleep, and they started speaking yesterday, and then I got up this morning and I finished writing out what the white police officer, LA police, said. Baby, you said why good people die, all of them gonna fucking die, baby. Some just die more than others, are set up because they're very good people and they're light beings, and they're not treacherous and low down and dirty, and they don't think like the people that are conspiring against them and saying, well, I'm going to get you because you're going to get me, or I'm going to get you first. Many people walk in the light, and they're taught that the light is going to protect them, and many times too, these are past lives agreements. They left the past life the same way, and it's a carryover. There are many different reasons. That's another show to get into, but I started getting very sick yesterday, and my stomach, it's like when I saw Sam's stomach queasy and doing this, mine started doing it, and I was constantly in and out of the bath flushing. My stomach was upset, and I just was in a lot of pain. This went on for hours, and then I saw Sam. And I was talking to the girl. I said, I don't know what's wrong, but I am so sick and I'm in so much pain, and I cannot stop running to the bathroom. I'm just running off, and I know it has something to do with this, and I know too it upset me really bad. and it started making me respond. And so I'm going to the bathroom, and as soon as I get up and wash up, a few minutes later it's like, oh, I gotta go back and I'm telling her, I'm like, there's something spiritual about this. I got a lot of activity in the house because they're affecting my body like this. So I was talking to Sam, and I was writing some more, and then when I went back in the bathroom, I was talking to her, and then Sam runs to the bathroom door. Because I have like a hallway. You have to run down the hallway before you get to the bathroom door. And he didn't come in. Yes, it was spiritual warfare. And you're right. I like that, a wicked construct. And he looked at me. He was doing like this. And right before he came in there, I'm talking to the girl and I don't tell her. And I'm going, oh, shit. Because the temperature starts to drop in the bathroom, and it feels like it's about 25 or 30 degrees. And I know what that means, but I'm like, wait, I'm just using I'm not even doing a reading series, but I'm saying, oh, fuck, okay, demon, something's nearby. So right when it drops, I'm trying to act normal talking to her, and I see Sam running towards me, but he's a gentleman, so he didn't enter. He stood on the outside. And I look at him and he's doing like this. And I said, Sam, what's wrong? Why are you shaking? Are you cold? Or are you going through another memory? Like when you got out of the bite, I'm saying, are you having a flashback? Is this a puzzle? And he said, mm-mm. And when I'm looking behind him, here comes the clown. The one that looks like Pennywise. The one that came in on Joe Jackson. The one that I seen on R. Kelly. The one that I seen with Donnie Hathaway. That clown that was there when Donnie was pushed out the window. He was in there before he was pushed out the window. The clown walks up beside Sam, but it's not doing anything. It's a demonic clown because it looks just like Pennywise. With them sharp knives in his mouth that's hanging down long. With the midget. The jester or the imp that's always with Satan or Lucifer. And that's the imp or the midget. It looks like a court jester. Has black, white, and red with the long gold scepter. He was walking with Satan beside Joe Jackson, telling Joe Jackson, you better learn to step your ass out because you leaving your body this weekend, whether you ass like it or not. He was with him. And he popped up. He was in here with Kanye. When his mother was telling me that Lucifer, I'm seeing this shit in the hallway. And I said, no, Sam, no, stop shaking. Don't be scared, Sam. And he said, I gotta go. No, Sam. And she's on the phone listening. I'm telling her what I told y'all. And she's listening. I said, Sam, no, please. Don't leave. I asked them to come because I need to see the demons come forward that are comfortable and trust me enough to tell me which ones were responsible for the conspiracy to set up and take your life before it happened. They're not here to hurt you. So I don't know if he had seen them before in the underworld or maybe they had tormented him, but they weren't here to do that, and they didn't do it. The clown stood there with his hands down, and he was very calm. But he stood beside Sam, and Sam was losing it. And then the jester, he goes, the little midget, when he goes, hey. And I said, hey, baby, how you doing? And I saw he didn't want to do it. But Sam didn't understand that. I said, no, I did it. I requested their presence. They mean you no harm. And I said, don't run off, don't leave. I want you to spend the night with me. Because I got to tell you something. Oh. I said, you can stay at my home. Don't run. Don't leave. Because you'll be running forever. Now that you're on the other side and your physical body has been destroyed. You must learn that you have the same body but a higher frequency and vibration. You just shifted to a higher vibration and frequency but you have the same thoughts, the same mind, the same ability to read, to listen to me. We're going to spend the night together. There's some things I'm going to teach you. Please stay with me. My home is your home. I gotta talk to you. He stayed. He's calm now. He's calm today. And when I got up, the evil clown is a symbol of the narcissistic personality disorder to me. Yes, it is, but it also is a symbol of the other demon, Abaddon. Abaddon, the destroyer, who is also associated with the Mexican god that they would sacrifice humans to and would peel their skin off. Totec, which would also be Pinhead in Hellraiser. Remember Hellraiser? Pinhead ass. And be talking to them. He'll come out the wall and come from hell. When they twist that damn Rubik's Cube looking ass box, and his ass come up there with them perfectly lined up squares on his head with them damn nails lined up in the shit. Him. So I knew what it was when I seen that damn clown with them sharp ass teeth in his mouth. He was cool though. He the one told me. That there was several rituals. And there was several powerful demons in the spell. I got company. I just tried not to go there tonight. I was trying to make this show. Now, let me tell you. God damn. The phone finna go dead. Try to make it quick. This white police, a LA police, he told me he had something to do with setting up and protecting the circumstances surrounding the murder and severe brutality and beating of Sam Cooke and shooting. He said it was him and a LA detective. And they also said they had the coroner in their pocket because they had some shit on him. And they were going to make sure he wasn't going to go no further. The coroner inquest going to go like they said it was going to motherfucking go. And this police said they had recruits for police. They tried to get as many as they could that were from KKK organizations with military backgrounds, bomb experts, drugging experts, ones that specialize in espionage, spying, counterintelligence. They had those for police, and they were hired to terrorize the black community to keep them in a state of turmoil and unrest. And he felt that he still has no remorse when it came to me. He's ice cold. He feels superior to black people. Feels like they're going to have to rule. They're going to stay in power. And in order to stay in power, they have to do what they were doing. And I seen a politician at the time that he had sitting in the dark where you're trying to hide to see their face, talking to the police, tell them this is what I want you to do, and I want you to distribute drugs. I want you to create this problem. I want you to create a certain amount of murders and lock them up, create problems for them, keep the crime going in their neighborhood. This was going on in LA PD. And he was frustrated because he had done a lot of black killings and harassed and hurt a lot of black people, male and female. But he wanted to stop being on the street as a cop. He wanted to rise above there and have an office job and more power. So they told him, well, if you help to kill and cover up this high-ranking black person, we will give you, you'll rise up and you'll get the notoriety of having to set this in motion and be responsible for it. So I don't know, but he came in here and said that he was taking credit for this top level affluent, high profile kill. And the way they did it was definitely a way to violate and to make top headline news of a high-profile person. A person that was larger than life, like a god, worshipped and admired, not considered as just some nigger, but a god, and that was special. And that's why they want to do it to him too, to teach him a lesson. You're not special. You think you're above us, you think you're just as good as us, you think you're better than us. But we have to do this to show you that you are not special at all. You're not unique. And then we're going to humiliate you and display this. This policeman that is speaking to me in the ethers, on the astral, is bragging. He's telling me these things. I wrote all of this down, but it's too much to read. And it's too upsetting. I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you because it's so hard. So I hope that, I know a lot of this stuff, some of the stuff you've already heard, is a part of people's theories and what they think happened to him. And I totally agree with what Sam said. He agrees. But then some of the things I'm telling you, he said, I know you have not heard. I never heard them. And they're very difficult for me to accept and digest and process. But there's so much more. But I told her I can't take it. I'm going to need a break for a week or two. And I'll decide if she wants me to come back and do part 2. I hope I wasn't too all over the place. I apologize for it hurting me, for being emotional, because I didn't know him. But just in this week or so, speaking to him, seeing, feeling, this was a good man. Everybody got their faults, and I'm glad he loved women. I'm glad I didn't see nothing about no motherfucking boys. So I don't really care. These were not children either. These were consenting women. Everybody got their little things. Hell, he was a red-blooded ass man. But that had nothing to do with this sentence of death that was handed down him so young, just beginning to bring change, and it was going to be worldwide. And I know he influenced my father, and that's another reason why I wanted to do it, because I also saw my father. He stayed out of it, but he was here. And I know he approved, so it was me, and he let Sam talk and tell me what he felt. And I'm like, Sam, I cannot. But I did. Tell you what I could say. I'm sorry I didn't get to finish it all. And my battery's about to go. So, if she wants it, there will be a part 2. But y'all, I need a break off of it. Now, I can come and talk about somebody else that doesn't affect me like this. I promise I'm going to try to do something at least once a week for y'all. And then we're going to discuss the other page when we're finished, about the spiritual page. And if you need assistance or readings or something like that on a deeper level, I see you keep asking me. So we're going to go into some spiritual shows one night, and I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to be around more. And I will talk to you soon. And thank you all for being here and listening and watching. I hope there was something you got from it, and that I was clear. And if you have any questions for me, even after you go back and listen to it and you want to put the questions down, or if anybody that hadn't seen it, when they see the video and they'll ask a question or make a comment, feel free to do that. If you find any, I love you back. Thank you, Bianca. You find any information you want to share with me, and put it there. Anything about the covert activity, what we know about the record labels, the COINTELPRO, the wives, Alan Klein, the conspiracies. Thank you for sharing. I understand difficulty with such a terrible. Yes, it is a terrible way to die. I pray that that doesn't happen to me. And my father died with the same kind of brutality and beating and abuse. It's just Sam's went on in a day and a night, possibly more, a day and a half too. And my father's went on for almost 9 years, where he was beaten and abused. I don't want to do that reading. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm tired. I don't want to cry. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now.